do an opening statement from Coach and then questions.
Really proud of our guys. That's a really good win. Our best win of the season so far. Deep respect for Coach Schmidt and his program, the culture, the way they play, the way they compete. That game was good for a lot of things. I think there's a lot of lessons for us to take from it. A lot of things we did well to put ourselves up 16 with 6 minutes to play. I thought there was a lot of wisdom to be gleaned from, playing not to lose the last 6 minutes and almost losing because we played not to lose. I think that how hard they competed, the way they kept coming, the relentlessness which they competed was really impressive. But I thought, we found a way across the finish line. And first 34 minutes, our defense was awesome. Our physicality was awesome. Offensively, we executed against a really good defense. And then I thought last 6 minutes, we like I said, we were tentative. We played defense not to foul and got beat to some balls. And then offensively, we were tentative. But Robbie made a huge play there down the stretch with the layup, Gibson's free throws, Gibson's threes in the middle of that game. He was awesome tonight. Again, there's going to be a lot of wisdom to be gleaned from that game, a lot of things to learn. But it's a really good win against a team that I think is certainly one of the best teams in the A-10. So we come out with a lot of confidence about what we can be if we continue to get better, and we got a lot of room to get better.
Is the game plan to shoot that many threes earlier, or is it just what they gave you?
Well, I think we talked about that in the media session, that we'd probably shoot a lot more threes because the way they collapse on drives, and so I think the game always tells you what to do. I mean, you got to get the ball to the paint, and then there's a right play to be made. And if the defense is swarming the paint and they do a great job of flooding the paint, then you got to get off the ball and kick it out to guys, and then guys got to shoot those feet set threes with confidence. So I thought we would shoot a lot of threes, just because I thought the way they would guard us now, we had to get the ball to the paint. I thought early some of our threes were just tracing the three-point line, and we weren't playing with force in the first 10 minutes offensively. We really struggled to get the ball, vertical against them and attack and get the ball to the rim and then force them in rotation and then make the right play. I thought, that stretch from the first, 8-10 minutes to the last 6 minutes, we did a really good job of really, playing downhill, using, seams, post-ups, driving the basketball and then, kicking it and then playing behind that.
Say first Kellen and then Dylan gave you big impacts off the bench.
They did. They both did. It was great to see Kellen out there. He's there's with what he's going through. It's incredible how positive he is and his energy, and he's always got a smile on his face and he's happy. And I mean that's not easy what he's dealing with. And to see him that perpetual state is pretty cool. And I thought, on a night where, Kalu fouls out in 10 minutes, and doesn't really, I think he had a rebound or two and no points and, really wasn't out there much to do anything. It was great. We needed that, from Dylan, and we needed that from Kellen. And Kellen's spark in the first half was awesome. It really, we were down. He comes in and just his energy. He's one of one on that team with his athleticism and the things he can do. And was reminiscent, at least some of the first half of the guy we saw those first 4 games, where I thought, he had a chance to be an all-league level guy because he's just such a good player. So it was really cool to see that. And I thought Dylan, in the second half, KT got a little tired and, the body kind of gave way. Dylan really gave us some good minutes, and he had a couple of breakdowns there late. But he's a freshman. He's playing that situation for the first time. And Dylan's a smart kid. He'll learn and he'll be better down the stretch the next time that opportunity presents itself.
Was Kellen not physically able to go in those final minutes?
Yeah, he was. He got a little bit. Yeah, we couldn't have played him. I don't think. Maybe he could have gone in for a possession or two, but it wasn't. No, he wasn't able to go.
You've talked a lot.
Same thing. I mean, dealing with the cramping and the fatigue there. So he wasn't able to go back in. And when we took him out, that he started cramp that last possession where he shot the 3, which he managed to fight the cramps to get a shot off, so that was good. And then, so that was impressive. Which I mentioned to him on the way out. I was like, that's an interesting choice when you're cramping. But that was the same issue he's been dealing with.
You've talked a lot about the different games where you've seen progress leading up to this, but this jump, is this something you kind of in the process of building the team and so on, something you kind of foresaw as happening maybe around this time?
No, I'm not that smart. If I was that smart, I would have had us playing this way in the beginning of the year. So I think we talked about this, early on, like where I said, I didn't think leaving Chicago State that we had an identity, even though we were 6-3. I didn't know what our identity was on offense or defense. Every good team has a way they want to play on offense and defense. They have a true identity. This is who we are. And that identity allows you, when you really, and it starts with, to have an identity, you got to know who you are, and you got to have a self-awareness about that, and you guys got to be an individual and collective thing. But when you really have an identity and you buy into it, then and it's like, from a fan standpoint, like, you're never going to be in your identity perpetually for 40 minutes a game for 30 plus games a year. It's not possible, not humanly possible. For any player, any person, anybody and anything, you're not going to be at your best every second of every game. But when you have an identity and you know what it is, you can individually and collectively reconnect to it. You can course correct inside of a game, like, oh, we're getting away from who we are. Let's flip the switch back, not flipping a switch, but let's get back to who we are. Like, we know who we are. Let's get back to this. What was our function? How do we operate? And so I think, we have started to, I said, St. Bonaventure has an identity, right? Like, they forged an identity, even though they have 10 new players. And I said they were ahead of us in that. And whether that's because of, it could be as simple as Coach Schmidt's much better than I am at doing that. It could be that he's been there a long time and they have an embedded culture, even though they have new guys, and those guys come in there. And because the culture's set, that they adapt to it quicker. But tonight and the St. Joe's game and the Fordham game and the Grand Canyon, et cetera, we're starting to forge an identity of who we want to be, how we want to play defensively, how we want to play offensively, who are we, what is our team like, and then when we have a timeout or we're getting away from it, I can get on guys and they understand they can course correct themselves, pretty quickly. Like, I can do that with Rob. Like, Rob course corrects himself immediately. Like, if he makes a soft play and lets Brown post him up and lay it in, I'll yell at him, Rob. He's like, I got it. I was soft. It was my bad. He can, in the game, course create himself, because again, he's not going to be perpetually in, the state he needs to be in. So, long answer, but yeah, we're getting an identity, we're developing it. I never know. Sometimes it never happens. You can coach a team all year, and it never really comes together. Sometimes it happens at the very beginning of the year, like Indiana State last year. We started the year off, and I thought we had an identity, and we stayed to it. Sometimes you have an identity, and you can lose it. This team, it took a while, but I think now we're starting to forge an identity of who we want to be on both sides of the floor, and everybody's buying into their roles and trying to star in their roles, and that's a big thing.
Josh, when you think about Gibson, knowing every team is going to have him on the scouting report and try to shut down what he likes to do, and for him to still have nights like this, like he had Fordham, what does that tell you about just sort of him? And I mean, it's not like he's going to sneak up on anybody.
No. No, he's everybody's hunting him. Gib was awesome tonight. He was awesome, and he was not just awesome. The 28 is loud. Everybody sees the 28 and the 6'3s. Gib had some big time rebounds. He had some awesome collisions. He did some really good things in defense and trapping the box and loading. We talk about invisible plays. Like, Gibson has really grown in his ability to understand and make those invisible plays that, like I said, aren't going to get like a lot of acclaim from fans or media, but that drive winning. And so, but the ability to score the way he does. I mean, a couple of those transition threes were so deep, and the release he had from the one in the corner right by our bench. I mean, he's a fantastic player, and honestly, I was equally as impressed with some of the movement, cutting, the back doors and the layups. He's become so much better at understanding, how to move without the basketball. He used to just chase it all the time, and he would just run in circles and windshield wiper around the ball, and it was dizzying for everybody. And he's learning how to, leverage his gravity, his cutting. He's learning how to pass in the seams, his defense, his point of attack defense, his rebounding, his ability to understand and help in rotations, his physicality. He's becoming a well-rounded, really impactful, efficient player, and that's your goal for every player. You want guys to be as efficient as impactful as possible. Gibson's he's super efficient and super impactful. Even he was the other night where he was 1 for 7 from 3 against St. Joe's. His passing and his gravity and his defense and and all the other stuff he's doing is so vital to this team. He's an absolute Iron Man. He's going 40 minutes every night. It's remarkable. But we feel like we take him out, we're worse. So why take him out?
Is there a name for that inbound play, 11.3 seconds, where you line everybody up on the end line?
We just, just like almost like a football play. We're just trying to, we want to get the ball in to Gibson. We trust him down the stretch there at the free throw line, and Robbie inbounding it. We trust him to make the pass. So it's, we've just worked in that special situation. We want to get the ball inbounds, not our regular press break, but it was a way to get the ball. We thought to get the ball to him, and if we couldn't get the ball to Swope, and those were really our two options there, was to get the ball to one of those two guys, and we have all the faith in the world. Gib goes up, and those 4 free throws down the stretch were huge, and along with Robbie's drive there and finish, that was a really big time play to draw the contact, the foul, get downhill there when we were struggling. Like I said, that drive, gave us some breathing room.
So the right guy shooting free throws.
Yeah, well, that's always the key, right? That was the benefit of Kalu fouling out. No, the right guy shooting free throws. We're a good free throw shooting team. Wrong guys shoot free throws. We're a bad free throw shooting team, and that's not, like I said. We've got to make sure and continue to work with the guys that don't shoot them well to get them better. But end of the day, like when Gibbs up there, we have all the counts world. Swope's up there, Robbie's up there. We have a lot of faith that those guys are gonna knock them down. And outside of KT's 2 misses and Swope had a miss there in the back end of a 1-on-1, we did a pretty good job of converting from the line. And KT took a pretty hard fall there on that play.
Coach, just 3 games in, obviously, but how gratifying is it to see St. Louis at the top of the A-10 by itself right now?
Are we at the top of the A-10 by ourselves?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know. Richmond, I don't know. It's great. I would like it a lot more if it was, March 8th instead of January 8th, whatever it is today. It's nice. The thing with the standings is, they're it's fluid. You just got to keep your head down and keep working this league. There's no opportunity to pick your head up and relax and take it in. If as soon as you start to feel good about yourself or feel bad about yourself, either way, you're gonna get clipped in the next game. So, it's certainly nice. 3-0 is a great start. Really proud of the improvements we've made. I'm proud of how our guys are competing and how they're doing it together. We've talked a lot about that coming in terms of culturally. I think some of the stuff we talk about culturally is starting to become not just kind of empty words, but actual, applied to like what we want to be. But a big part of that is, just keeping your head down, blocking out all the noise, whether it's, we were 6-6 and, we're terrible and, we're the worst team, worst coach, worst everything. And now that maybe, everybody's happier. And it's great. Like, the passion of the fans, that's awesome. We love that. And I'll say this too, for a crowd without really, our students that there were unbelievable, and the community was awesome. Like, I know it wasn't a packed house, but it was loud. And down the stretch, we needed them to kind of lift us. The crowd was amazing. So we appreciate that. And that's, the outside noise is always going to be there. But end of the day, we just got to focus on getting better, learning from every experience, growing from every game, and then coming back in and trying to get better every single day. And then you put your head down and do that, and don't worry about where you are. And then that's how you find yourself at the end, where you want to be. It's by not concentrating on where you are that you get to where you want to be at the very end of the road. And that's the goal, is just to keep our head down, keep getting better, prepare as well as we can, compete, learn from every competition, prepare for as well as we can for the next game, lay it out, empty our tanks inside those lines for those 2 hours, and then come back and keep that. As boring as that sounds, and I know it sounds boring, that's the pathway to trying to end up where you want to, which is at the end to be the last team standing.
What did you see at the end when you thought they were playing not to lose?
What did I offensively, I thought we had some advantages where we didn't attack 2-on-1s. I thought we stopped moving. I thought we started like pulling the ball out and holding the ball and getting ourselves up against the clock without movement. I didn't think we were I thought we were holding the ball. I thought, we turned down some advantage opportunities offensively. I thought that we were a little bit soft with the ball. We got the ball poke checked from us twice, where we had 2 or 3 turnovers late, where we weren't strong with the ball. You got to know in the final few minutes of a game that the team's going to be aggressive, particularly St. Bonaventure time had 4 fouls. So they're going to be coming down, and refs are going to let more go in those last few minutes. And then defensively, I thought we started playing more like just a prevent defense, like keeping the guy in front of us. We didn't play with physicality, collisions. I thought we had a couple balls knocked out of our hands. Thought we had some offensive rebounds where they came in and got them. We blew a coverage there late, which Jones's 3. We had a freshman out there. We messed up a coverage and gave up a wide open 3. We missed a box out in the zone and gave up an and 1. There was a variety of plays. The defense, to have them, I think it was 64-48 with 6 minutes to go. Is that right? And so they had 48 points in 34 minutes. Like, our defense at that stage was about as good as you can do. And we mixed man and zone, and they did a great job. Our guys did a really good job in both. And then I thought the last 6 minutes, everything was tentative. We didn't punish any advantages. We pulled offense out, ran against the clock, bad offense up against the shot clock. You're going to play conservative, but you can't play not to lose. And then defensively, you got to continue to play with physicality and force. We have to make some of those rebound plays. We lost a couple balls out of bounds. They had, off the top of my head, I can remember 4 offensive rebounds in the last 5 minutes, but it's probably more than that. And so, we have to be so much better closing the game. But that's part of, we'll walk out of here with, a lot of confidence because we beat a really good team, and that's going to inject our guys with confidence. But I think we're also going to walk out of our film session Friday with a lot of wisdom about where we can get better and all the areas we can improve, and all the things we did well to be up 64-48, and all the great things we did to put ourselves in that position, and then wisdom about, so if we find ourselves back in that situation, and I hope we do against a really good team, we're up 16 with 6 minutes to play, that we're going to learn from that and grow from that, and that next experience will be that we'll close the game in a way, that works. And at the end of the day, you got to close the game with stops, and we weren't getting stops. We weren't finishing plays. It was pretty bad, on both ends. And we've got to clean up some stuff. We gave up, St. Joe's got 9 more shots than us. Tonight was 13. We can't afford to lose in possession games like that. Now, tonight was because we made 13 threes to their 4. We covered it, and they didn't shoot a great percentage. But we've got to do a better job. We've given up 27 offensive rebounds the last 2 games. We've got to be much cleaner in those areas, to be the kind of team we want to be, to compete for a championship. We've got a lot of stuff to clean up, and it'll start there.
It was 63-49.
Was it 63-49? Yeah, so 14 there, and you have every chance to close that game out if you defend, and if they're pressing us to try to get back in. If we had some 2-on-1s that we pulled back out and run, and then again, you can run offense, not saying be crazy, but if you don't have anything, then you got to still keep playing. And I thought we just held the ball, and we ran up against, deep in the clock, and then we turned the ball over a few times on some soft plays, got the ball batted, got the ball taken out of our hands, threw the ball out of bounds. It's a play where I thought, Dylan did get fouled, but they didn't call it, and he's got to play through that contact. We got to be physical enough to play through the contact late in the game. You're going to get bumped, you're going to get hit. You can't rely on the referees to bail you out. You got to play through that contact and finish plays, and then the other end, we got to still play with our chest and our feet, and we got to crack guys on rebounds and be physical on the glass. And I thought all those things were trended downwards for whatever reason. Again, probably playing not to lose there and getting tight.
Did Dylan change the calculus on when you were going to bring Kalu back?
Yeah, because he played well. He definitely did. Because he was playing well, and I was actually I was going to bring in Kalu a little earlier, and then Dylan made a great play, set a great ball screen, got in the seam, and threw a kick out to Kobe for a wide open three, and Kobe banged the three, and then I sent Kalu back to the bench. But yeah, that was no doubt his play. And then down the stretch, I thought it was a great learning experience for him because he had some plays. He misses the box out in the zone on Chance Moore there. Chance Moore gets the N1. He blows he lost Jones coming out on that baseline screen, gives up a three. And those are freshman things. We're asking a freshman to close a big-time game. Dylan's a really good player. He's a smart player. He's a winning player. But he made a lot of really good plays, and then he's got some plays like all the guys do where they'll go back and learn and say, okay, this is where I can be better. And then we got to take that wisdom and apply it to the VCU game so we can be, hopefully a lot better team on Tuesday night when it tips off there in a place we, as far as I know, you guys would know better than I would, but I don't think we've ever won there. So, obviously hard place to play, and I know our guys, our staff, I've never been, so, I'm excited to go, and I know our guys are excited to compete against a great team in what should be an awesome environment if they have water, running water.
It'd be good if they don't have water, because then there'll be no one in the building.
Yeah, no fans. I'd be fine with no running water as well. So it'd be weird to be in Richmond for 6 days with no running water, but we'll make it work, porta potties or whatever. So appreciate it, guys, ladies. Thank you.